All right, I think we are live. Hello, this is my first live stream on YouTube, so I'm so excited to be here and to get to share my vegan journey and really make sure that you understand it doesn't have to be difficult. It doesn't have to be a huge challenge. You can go vegan. You can adopt a plant-based diet super easily. And I want to help you do that. So hello, welcome back to Vegan Sunny. My name is Sunny. I am so excited to be doing this live call with you guys. There are lots more live calls happening in my free community, the Plant Powered Path, which you can just join at plantpoweredpath.com. I would love to see you there. But today, I just want to dive into something that's really important in these community discussions, which is why most new vegans quit and how you can adjust your strategies so that this becomes something that is long-term, because we know we all want to make this commitment for ourselves, for our health, for the animals, and of course for the planet in order to live a more sustainable life. So my name is Sunny. I've been vegan for about 9 years. I've worked as a climate activist. I've worked as an engineer for the US Army. I've worked in all kinds. You adopt your plant-based lifestyle through the plant-powered path, through my vegan recipe books like the Vegan Swahili Cookbook, which you can get at veganswahili.com. And my goal is to make plant-based eating as seamless, as easy as possible. So why do so many people quit? This is something that I've been thinking about a lot. I'm sure if you are vegan, you have talked to so many people who are like, oh, you're vegan? I used to be vegan. It's like, okay, so what happened? And I've been digging into this a lot. Like, why are people going to this plant-based lifestyle? And clearly they're adopting it for a reason. They're passionate. They care about the animals. They care about the planet. But then something stops them, something gets them stuck, and they revert back to their old ways. So the first reason why people quit a vegan lifestyle pretty early on is because of a lack of community. So we all know that food is a community activity. When we're cooking in the kitchen with our loved ones and our friends. We might be listening to music and dancing. When we're eating, most meals are best enjoyed with the people you love around you. And if the people who you love, who you want to share these meals with, are not on the same page as you in terms of reducing and rejecting animal products, it can be really challenging to stick to this lifestyle. That's part of why I launched the Plant Powered Path. It's on School with the K, totally free to join. And I've talked to so many people who are at every single stage of their vegan journey. And the most common thing that people need is just somebody to bounce ideas off of, somebody to understand where they're coming from and what their goals are, and to help them reach those goals. So the first thing and the first reason why so many new vegans quit is that lack of community. The second reason is just not knowing what to eat. So when I first went vegan, I was in a very common position, which is I didn't realize how to get enough protein. And that is not to say that you can't get enough protein on a vegan diet, because you can easily get so much protein. I have 100-gram protein days. I have 150-gram protein days. But really understanding where that protein is going to come from if you're not eating animal products is super important. And I have a ton of delicious, high-protein vegan recipes in my new cookbook, the Vegan Swahili Cookbook. It's amazing food from East Africa. Swahili food, Swahili culture is so important to me in my life. And I love sharing that with all of you. So you can definitely check out the cookbook to get some high protein vegan recipes. But we need to start looking at what we eat in terms of having a balanced plate. And I like to think is not just protein. You really want to get all of the different amino acids that you can in a day, because the amino acids are the building blocks of protein. It actually takes less energy in your body to break down the food you're eating when you're getting these amino acids instead of trying to get very complex proteins. And a lot of ways that we can get enough protein on a plant-based diet is really easy with nuts, legumes, and beans. So I love, in the morning, I'll do a smoothie and I'll put some peanut butter in it and some hemp seeds. That's already going to give me like 20 grams of protein. I love doing it in kind of mysterious ways. So things like hummus or bean dip, or things like veggie burgers where you're cooking in things like sweet potatoes and black beans with yummy breadcrumbs and garlic and onions, and putting that all together into a patty and shaping that and then baking or frying that. It's going to get you a ton of protein, sometimes up to 30 grams of protein per serving, depending on how does not mean that you are going to be missing out on protein, but it does mean that you might have to consider some ways of getting protein that you aren't used to. And if you want to dive more into this, if you join the Plant Powered Path, just join at plantpoweredpath.com. There are so many good high protein vegan recipes that you can find there. They're delicious, cruelty-free, full of love, made with love, and I love sharing these recipes. So let me know in the comments if you have any really, really good high-protein vegan hacks that you want to share, because I know my favorites, like I said, in smoothies, I love sneaking in that protein with peanut butter or almond butter. Lots of seeds, so not just hemp seeds, but we can do pumpkin seeds, we can do sunflower seeds. And then also really making sure that you're eating a ton of beans. I know a lot of people don't want to eat a ton of tofu, but don't listen to men to increase breast tissue. Tofu is not the leading cause of deforestation. There are so many alternative narratives about tofu that I think we are facing because the animal agriculture industry is scared right now, and they know that people are shifting away from eating animal products and shifting towards these plant-based alternatives. So there are some propaganda circulating right now around tofu and alternative proteins, and we really need to look into where that research is coming from and who's funding those proposals, because it is clear that using soy products is very low water cost. It's very environmentally friendly and sustainable, and you get a ton of high quality protein. And of course, it does taste delicious. I love tofu. I would say to anyone who is a little bit skeptical about tofu, get you a block of extra firm tofu, garlic powder, salt and pepper, maybe some nutritional yeast, and then either pan fry or air fry that. And it's so simple. It's so good. But of course, another way that we can get lots and lots of protein on a plant-based diet is by making sure that we use sauces creatively. So I just was talking about tofu, but you can blend tofu into things like a mac and cheese sauce, or things like another kind of pasta sauce, like a white sauce, and get a really high protein sauce base, and not really even realize how much protein you're eating because it's in that kind of saucy liquid form. Similar with things like hummus or tahini, which is made from sesame seeds. Super high protein. You can add those on to wraps, sandwiches, salads, super good. I'm a big fan of sauce, so I also love a peanut sauce made with peanut butter or ground peanuts with some vegetable broth and spices. Super yummy, super delicious. It doesn't take a lot of time, and it will get you the protein you need. And like I said, the top two reasons that I've found speaking to people who used to be vegan, who no longer are, the reason why they're quitting is usually they are lacking this community and somebody to really engage with them about how they can live this lifestyle in alignment with their morals and their ethics and still have friends. We know that it's really sad, but vegans are some of the most hated people in the world right now. And it's not just me saying that. There have been studies done showing that biases that people are adopting towards different groups are really, really skewed negatively towards vegans. So if somebody says, hey, I'm vegan, there's already a kind of negative mentality that a lot of people who maybe aren't vegan have in their minds. And I just want to work to combat that a little bit by sharing and spreading just a ton of love, a ton of compassion. We are not trying to do anything other than live our truth, and our truth is reducing our animal product consumption. Ooh, oh my gosh. And busy maid, busy kitchen. Hello, hello. I love the sound of the crispy fried tofu with peanut butter and sesame seed. That sounds so delicious. Yes, I'm a huge, huge fan of crispy fried tofu. I eat it all the time. You'll see me, I'm sure you've seen it in my shorts or my TikToks, all the tofu that I'm eating. It's really, really good with a nice peanut sauce. So my peanut sauce recipe, I don't usually use sesame seeds, but I'll do some sesame oil, peanut butter, vegetable broth, a bit of maple syrup or agave, depending on what sweetener I have. And then I'll put ginger and garlic, and then just like a dash of sriracha because I like it spicy. But you can use any hot sauce. You can use gochujang, you can use chili paste, chili oil, and really mix that up into a creamy peanut sauce. And you can put it on anything. You can put it on salads. You can put it on a bowl. You can put it on wraps. You can do a stir fry and put it on that. You can use it with tofu. And so I really want people to recognize that a lot of what causes people to commit to going vegan is that alignment with their ethics, with feeling like, okay, I don't want to take any more animal lives unnecessarily. I don't want to increase my carbon footprint. I don't want to risk my own personal health, because increasing animal product consumption leads to a lot of preventable diseases in many cases. Things like heart disease and diabetes and even some forms of cancer are very preventable if we are adjusting our diet and shifting towards a more plant-based diet. And I will say, even though I have been vegan for 9 years, I am a big fan of reducing your animal product intake. I know that not everyone is going to go vegan overnight. Probably in my lifetime, we will not see a vegan world. I accept that. But I do think that reducing the amount of animal products that we are eating is super important. And one great way for us in the vegan community to enable that is by having really good recipes and sharing really good food with the people we love. Because I think there's this mindset that people who are not plant-based have, which is, I'm not sure if vegan food is going to taste good. I don't know if it's right for me. I don't just want to eat grass. It's like, do you not realize how much vegan food you already eat? All fruit is vegan. Vegetables are vegan. Things like potatoes, French fries, chips, these are vegan, and these are some of my favorite foods even before I was vegan. So it really is so important to share how delicious vegan food can be. That's why I love sharing my cookbooks. You can pick up my newest cookbook at veganswahili.com. I'm so excited to share these delicious recipes from East Africa with love to the world. I've noticed that globally, if you go to try to get some African food, you'll often find things like Nigerian food, or maybe North African food like Moroccan, Egyptian, maybe even Ethiopian food. But East African food representation in the global cuisine, I think, is very underrepresented compared to how delicious it is. So dishes like my Swahili pilau and potato bhajias and maharagwe, which is this coconut kidney beans dish, they're so good. Some high protein, high quality dishes that are absolutely delicious, that I want everyone in the world to know and to realize how good this food is. And I love eating food from Africa because for millennia, for thousands of years, most meals have been 80 to 90% plant-based. So there is a very long legacy of traditional plant-based foods from Africa that are so, so good that people are absolutely sleeping on. So stop sleeping on it. Go to veganswahili.com to check out the cookbook. And let's get back to why people start going vegan and why so many new vegans quit. And Carla, I see your comment as well. The tofu to make mayonnaise, salad dressing, and chocolate pudding. Yes. So like I was saying with sauces, you can get so much protein in your diet with these different kinds of sauces. So I know I mentioned smoothies at the very beginning, like lots of peanut butter, lots of seeds in smoothies, but tofu as a base for any kind of sauce is so good. So I usually do a cashew mayonnaise, but I have done tofu mayonnaise before, and it was really, really tasty. And you're just using, I usually have used silken tofu. You'll use some lemon juice or some apple cider vinegar, some garlic powder. You'll blend it up with some other spices. It's really, really simple, but that's going to add protein every time you spread that on a sandwich or mix it in if you're making like a potato salad or some kind of dressing. That vegan mayo is going to have a ton of protein. And the chocolate pudding, I love that. So I usually use avocado as my chocolate pudding base. You can get my avocado chocolate pudding that's also in the Vegan Swahili cookbook. And I think having something that's like really, really rich and creamy and thick is super nice for a pudding. So I love the idea of using the tofu for that chocolate pudding. I'm wondering if you use silken tofu as well, or if you do something a bit more firm. But I can definitely imagine like a silken tofu chocolate pudding would be so, so good. Oh my gosh, now I'm hungry. The sweet tooth is coming out. And yes, salad dressing as well. So using tofu as a base for your salad dressing. So my ideas were not even scratching the surface, right? I was saying like pasta sauce, like you can make a vegan mac and cheese with that tofu base, but also salad dressing, pudding, mayonnaise. We have so many great ideas here. So if you have any more ideas, drop them in the chat. Yeah, silken tofu. That's what I was thinking. It is just so if anyone doesn't know, the more firm your tofu is, it's going to have a higher protein content. But even silken tofu, which is like the softest, like least firm, still has a good amount of protein in it. But yeah, if you want to increase your protein intake with tofu, you just go up a level in firmness. But the silken tofu sounds so good. And yeah, busy maid, busy kitchen. I love tofu in any kind of recipe. So I'm the same, but the first cookbook that I did is called the Soy-Free Vegan Cookbook, Sunny's Soy-Free Vegan Cookbook. And I put that out back in, it was either 2019 or 2020, because I was recognizing that there are a lot of people who are very skeptical of tofu, and I don't know why, because it's so good. Tofu is so delicious. I think that it really is a case of a lot of people, when they start going vegan, they work to replace meat with these like meat substitutes. So things like, Beyond Burgers, or like vegan frozen patties or frozen sausages, or things like this. And I do think that making it, oh, my cat just ran up. Where is he? LOL. But I do think that from making from scratch your own kind of just tofu dish, like not trying to make it like chicken, not trying to make it like anything other than what it is, which is tofu, is the best way to approach like cooking tofu into your dish. So, pressing tofu, breading it, maybe putting some breadcrumbs on it, some spices, and also marinades. So I've had really, really good success with tofu, cubing it up, and I'll put it on skewers like kebabs, and then I'll let it soak in a marinade. I'll usually do like some soy sauce, maybe some vegan Worcestershire sauce, along with, I like to put like seaweed into my marinades because I love that kind of flavor of the sea, I guess, the salty, briny flavor. And then I love, garlic powder, onion powder is always my go-tos, paprika, maybe some cumin, maybe some other herbs or spices, rosemary, sage could be nice. But marinating tofu anywhere from like 30 minutes up to overnight in the fridge. And then you can grill that, you can fry that. You don't even need to coat it with anything. You can bake it, you can air fry it. Tofu is going to absorb the flavor of whatever you put on it. So definitely do not fear the spices. Definitely listen to the ancestors. Just spice it up however you need to, is going to be the best way to do your tofu. But you can do it sweet or you can do it savory. So that's a beautiful thing about tofu, right? Is it really does absorb the flavor of whatever you put into it. So if you are doing it in like a pudding or something like that, you can go the sweet route, put some vanilla extract, some cocoa powder, maybe a little bit of maple syrup or some agave, and you can have this really nice sweet vegan pudding. But you can also go savory with more of the salty and the aromatic kind of spices. So we've definitely hit on this. Most vegans, most new vegans quit before they can build it into a habit. They say it takes 21 days to build a habit. So 21 days of eating plant-based every day, and you're probably likely to commit and to stick to that long term. But if you're not able to hit that habitual threshold, hit that amount of time where you've done it over and over enough that you can say, okay, this is something that I can commit to for a long term, then it's going to be a lot easier to just go back to what you are used to. And so, like I said, one of the biggest reasons people are quitting before they really lock in that habit is just that lack of community and not knowing what to eat. And I can help you solve both of those problems at plantpoweredpath.com. We are eating delicious plant-based food. We have our 12-day salad challenge. We have our 14-day plant-based challenge. And we have the 5-day flow state challenge, how to find your flow in this crazy busy world. These are all free challenges, but within the community, you can also purchase your on-demand courses. You can book your one-on-one calls with me so we can really dive deep into what's holding you back from a plant-based lifestyle, or how to take it to the next level, how to launch your own cookbook, how to make sure you are building out your own vegan brand and vegan business. Because I think collectivity and collaboration is what our movement needs right now. The animals need all of us. It's all hands on deck. We have to keep fighting for a future where we are not perpetuating suffering with our food. There's no reason for all of these animals on this planet to be suffering when there is an abundance of food, enough food to feed the entire global human population. Yet, most of the food that we produce, most of the corn and maize and grains and soybean, that's not going to people to eat. That food is going to cows or pigs or goats, and then they eat it, they process it, they live their all too short lives because then they're butchered and killed for meat. And this is just a super inefficient system, right? Like, even if you don't even care about the animals and you don't care about compassion and reducing suffering and stopping these cycles of suffering, you have to see how unsustainable it is. We're cutting down rainforests. We're absolutely ruining our water quality because of all the waste from the agriculture, animal agriculture that we've seen. And yet, we only get maybe 10, maybe 15% out of what we put in. So if you feed a cow 1,000 calories, a human is only going to eat 150, 200 of those calories that you put in. So 800 of those calories are just going towards that cow and it living a life that's geared towards slaughter. So we have to really, really recognize there's so many reasons to go vegan, but of course the animals, but also land security and food security. These animals are, going through some horrendous treatment oftentimes when it comes to industrial agriculture, when they can't even move, can't even spin around. Some great documentaries, The Smell of Money, Cowspiracy, Seaspiracy. You can check all of those out. Dominion. Drop your favorite vegan documentaries in the chat. Let us know if people are on this journey, what they can watch to just really educate themselves a little bit more about this movement. But definitely recognize that you do not have to do this alone. I know it can be overwhelming and there's so many options. And when there's so many options, it can feel like I don't even want to make any decision right now because I'm overwhelmed. That's why the Plant Powered Path is here for you to make sure that your transition or your growth in this vegan space is as seamless as possible. And I really, really do appreciate all the people who do try to go vegan. Like I said, talk to so many people who say, I was vegan for a few weeks, or I tried it for a week, or I tried it for a day, and I just couldn't stick to it. And it really comes back to having a community, having really good food to eat, and also having a really strong core belief of why you want to embark on this journey. So if you don't have that strong core belief in yourself and your commitment to protecting animals and your commitment to preserving the wildlife and the land that we have on this earth, if you don't have a strong commitment as to why you want to go vegan, then of course it's not going to be easy to stick with it. So we have an assessment in the Plant Powered Path. It's called Find Your Why. And we're really digging into why do we want this lifestyle in the first place? And if you go to vegansunny.com, you can take the quiz on the website and find your eating personality, because some of us are adventurous foodies, some of us are comfort food lovers, some of us are balanced eaters, and some of us are somewhere in between. And we definitely want to understand what our personal eating style is so we can make sure that we are including recipes and going out to the right places to eat and having the right cookbooks that actually are going to fuel us instead of stress us out. So definitely check out that eating personality quiz. It's a lot of fun. Just a few questions and you'll understand a little bit more about how you like to eat and why maybe some ways of transitioning to eating plant-based don't work for you as easy as some other ways would. And if you take the quiz, you'll also get a free mini ebook of recipes for your eating personality. So it's super fun. You can find that at vegansunny.com. And I really, really hope you enjoy it. And the last thing that I do just want to say before we hop off this live call is that I really, really want everyone to know how much I appreciate you. I know that it's not easy to adopt a plant-based lifestyle when most of the world is against us in some sense. We're the minority, we're the underdogs, we're kind of, ahead of our time in some ways. And I truly do believe it is ahead of our time. I truly do believe that human evolution and human consciousness is raising. We're at this point where our collective vibrations are raising and our inner peace and our inner light is being cultivated. And of course, there are horrific things happening right now, like all across the world, in Sudan and Gaza and all these places where there's famine and genocide and just horrific crimes against humanity happening. And in many ways, these crimes against humanity mirror the crimes that we are committing against animals, from the enslavement and forced incarceration at industrial animal agriculture centers to really extractive and exploitative processes that really narrate how most people get their food. We have to recognize that it is all interconnected. So everything from human rights to animal rights to environmental racism to all of this pollution to capitalism, consumerism, all of it is connected. And I do believe that we are on our way towards raising our collective conscious to recognizing that we are more harmonious when we work together, when we collaborate, when we meditate on peace and love and light instead of extracting, exploiting, and profit. And a great way to make sure we are cultivating that energy is through a plant-based lifestyle and also surrounding yourself with people who adopt a similar mindset. I see in the chat, hi, David. Hi, the Scottish vegan. I'm so happy you're here. And exactly, people do quit new things usually because they're not committed enough. That's why I said it is so important to find your why. For me, you can watch a longer video about this on my full channel, Vegan Sunny, but I didn't go vegan initially for the animals. It was for health reasons. Someone very, very close to me was diagnosed with terminal cancer, was dying, and we went vegan to try to turn that ship around, which was somewhat successful. He lived a lot longer than they said he was going to. But all in all, having that inner commitment is the most important thing. Like if you're just going vegan to follow a fad or to just try to lose weight or do something, if it's not something that's so core to your being on this planet, your humanity, then it's going to be really hard to sustain. But if it's, I want to protect my health, so I'm here for my loved ones, or if it's, I want to make sure that all of these beautiful animals I share this planet with are not harmed because of me, or if it's, I see the climate crisis is getting worse and worse every single day, and I want to reduce my contributions to climate change so that I can know that I'm doing something for the future, for future generations, or whatever else it is. If you have any other reasons for being vegan that I didn't mention, definitely drop that in the chat. But absolutely, David, I agree. I'm very excited to see your video as well about why people are quitting, why they're not committed enough. And we really need to make sure we're encouraging people on this journey. That's why I want to find as many people as possible who are first day vegans or first week vegans, because that's the point where we really need to make sure they feel supported and feel valued and feel like they have a strong sense of what their next steps are going to be. Because if you don't have that support and you don't have good recipes and you don't understand how you're going to have a fulfilling next meal, it's so easy to fall off the wagon and to stop eating plant-based, stop this lifestyle. And yeah, David's going to have a new video on his channel about this as well in the coming days. So definitely follow the Scottish Vegan, one of my best supporters. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you all for being here. Also in the chat, if you haven't said what's up, tell me what's up. Let me know how you're doing. And I hope you're having a wonderful, beautiful day, evening, night, morning, whatever time it is for you. And yeah, this is going to be live on my channel. So if you just popped in, you can definitely come back and watch it from the beginning. But I really, really do want to just add that it isn't just about food. For me, this plant-based lifestyle really is about connecting with our bodies, connecting with each other, recognizing the interconnectedness of all life on this planet. I think of this planet as a living organism, like just as we humans are an organism that have our cells, we have the mitochondria and all of these different, T cells and white blood cells and all of these neurons and all of the different cells that make up a human organism. The planet is made up of all of these different living beings, fungi and plants and animals and humans and all of the waterways and all of these living beings collectively make up the living organism that is our beautiful planet Earth. And we have to make sure we're doing our part to sustain it and not extracting from it and not harming other beings that are contributing to the long-term success of our beautiful planet. So if you are on your journey, I'm so proud of you. High five. And if you are thinking about going vegan, you should join the plant-powered path. We have people in our community who have been vegan for years and people who are not even plant-based at all, who are just getting started on the journey, and everyone is welcome at plantpoweredpath.com. The whole goal is to make sure you feel supported, cared for, loved, just as we want to support and care for and love the animals in this beautiful planet. And if you haven't got your copy yet, grab the Vegan Swahili cookbook at veganswahili.com. I'll be back live later this week with some delicious recipes from the video. I'm going to try to go live a little bit more often. We'll see how it goes. Let me know how you like the video. Leave me a comment. Don't forget to subscribe to Vegan Sunny, like this video, and lots of love to you, to all your loved ones, to all your furry babies. And I hope to see you next time, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.